Good evening and welcome to the final installment of College Information Week 2026. I'm Jeff Griffith, one of the college counselors, and it is my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Melachi Finley, McQuaid Jesuit class of 2025. Mr. Finley is a criminology student at Howard University and a recipient of the prestigious Chick Evans Scholarship. Mr. Finley is a dedicated scholar known for his thoughtful engagement, intellectual curiosity, and commitment to continuous growth. He approaches learning with an open mind and brings a reflective, well-informed perspective to academic and community discussions. Throughout his academic career, Mr. Finley demonstrated leadership and resilience both in and out of the classroom. He organized the Black Student Union Summit at McQuaid, helping to foster dialogue, inclusion, and community engagement on campus and the larger Rochester community. In addition, he was a standout track athlete, contributing to multiple sectional championship events and demonstrating perseverance and discipline, including through recovery from injury. These experiences have shaped his appreciation for institutions that cultivate excellence, leadership, and opportunity. Today, he will be presenting on the importance of historically Black colleges and universities. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Melachi Finley.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Of
Thanks, Mel, for doing this.
course.
And so I have a number of questions, and we'll see how this conversation goes. We might get through them all, we might not. But
Okay.
I just want to start right off the bat and ask you, why did you start looking at HBCUs as a college option?
Well, I'll be completely honest. I didn't really have much knowledge on historically black colleges and universities. It was something that I just was I either I never saw, I was never talked to about, or something that it just wasn't on my radar. But during college week for juniors, McQuaid had a McQuaid graduate and I think Howard graduate. He came back to talk to some of the kids, a part of the Black Student Union, and tell us the importance of going to historically Black colleges and all the great opportunities and things you can achieve by going to one. So I think that's what really got historically Black colleges, specifically Howard, on my radar. Since the alum was from Howard, it made me pretty much just tunnel vision Howard. Uh, if it was since it was a pipeline from McQuaid to Howard, I was just like, well, this is what he did, this is what he achieved. So I think I could do the same thing as him.
Yeah. And I remember when you participated in that discussion with Virgil Parker. Yep.
Yep.
Um, can you talk about the academics at Howard?
One thing about Howard is the academics are pretty hard. Like college, McQuaid being a college preparatory school, it without a doubt definitely prepared me for college and education at the next level. There's a plethora of things that come very easy to me from having 6 years of education at McQuaid, and there's just some things that are just college, like some things you just have to figure out on your own, some things you have to acclimate yourself to, get used to your classes. But I would say Howard's education is pretty rigorous, which is something that personally I think I like to hold myself to. After going to McQuaid and being held at such a high academic standard, I feel like I wouldn't want to go to a college that had an academic standard that was lower. So
Mhm.
the academics here are amazing, and I love all the classes that I've taken so far.
Mhm. Excellent. How accessible are your professors if and when you need help with those tough classes?
I would say they're pretty accessible. Almost every single teacher posts their office hours, whether that's via Zoom, in person. I think the professors are pretty flexible. And one thing about Howard is most of our classes, we have something called the yard, and most of our classes are around it. So you have the yard, which is just like a plot, like you can walk on it, sit on it. There's grass, you can throw the ball, whatever. But surrounding the yard is we have our school of music, school of theater, we have our different departments for like criminology, things like that. So depending on your major is dependent on which building pretty much you're going to spend your most time in. But all the classes are really accessible for staying on campus, and then professors are accessible as well.
Yeah. So is it safe to say that you feel academically supported and as a, first year student? And if so, like in what ways?
100%. I think there's a few layers. Like one thing I definitely talked about as a student at McQuaid, it takes a village, and I think I had a village going through McQuaid and going into Howard, and I think I have even more of a village now that I've made friendships and connections with different peers and mentors and teachers, and even inside the Evans Scholarship, you're held to a certain academic standard. We all have tutors within the program. We all have peers that upperclassmen help us with our work, and we help them with their work. So it's all like reciprocation, honestly. And like I said, academics is the most important part. So I think I get more than enough help than I need.
Yeah. It sounds like a strong and supportive community all around.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah. Um, in terms of like, I'm assuming you're in a lot of intro level courses at this point. What are they like? Are they large lectures? Are they smaller discussion-based classes?
I think it all depends on the professor, really. I've had classes where there's almost 200 kids and there's a lecture. I've had classes where there's 8 kids and the teacher just talks to you all class. I think it really depends on what type of learner you are. If you're more of an in-person, definitely do not take any virtual classes. If you're more of a hands-on for those type of things, communicate with your teacher. A lot of the teachers are open to like curving the way they teach to help the way certain students learn. And so yeah, there's definitely a range. You could have a class with a lecture hall of 100 kids, or like I said, you could have a biology lab with 10 kids maybe. But um, depending on what class it is, say it's a general education or a major course, that's pretty much where you'll start to see things differ.
Okay. So as you go into your courses and your major, you'll find that your classes will get smaller.
Yeah, if you're doing like a major course, like say you're taking biology, there's not a lot of people. There's so many majors. Not everyone is taking biology. But if you go to like introduction to psychology or something like that, like that's a huge branch of different majors all built up into one. So you're
Mhm.
gonna have more people in your psychology class or your principles of speech or just simple things like that everyone would take or something that most people take in college. Then when you get down to the major, it's like, okay, I'm only going to see people that have the same major or minor as me.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I had like 150 people in my Psych 101 class like more than
Yeah,
30 years ago. So I know exactly
yeah.
what you're talking about. Let's switch gears a little bit to campus culture. How does being at an HBCU shape your sense of identity and maybe confidence even?
Um, wow, that's a good question. I think one thing that Howard and historically black colleges have allowed me to feel, honestly, it just feels I honestly can't say I've felt this feeling before. Going to McQuaid, I was I don't know how many black students graduated with me, but it I was pretty much like a makeup of the minority of McQuaid.
Mhm.
And then touching foot on Howard's campus, like it was a feeling. It's honestly a feeling I can't describe. Like I can only encourage people to go to historically black colleges. Um, it definitely helps me in the confidence part. Seeing people, professors, the alumni network for Howard is insane. I mean, one week you see Usher here, the next week you see Jason Tatum. Like just the alumni network and the people that support this school allows me to wake up every day and say, wow, like if this person came to Howard and not even on the Chick Evans scholarship, there's people that a lot of people that don't have great opportunities like I have, but making something of themselves, making some things of their career and just etching themselves not only in Howard's history, but in Black history and even in American history as well. I think having the ability to go to a school like Howard that has so much history embedded in the campus, simply that fact allows me to have more confidence, allows me to walk with just an aura of I can do this, I will do this, they can do this. So I'm aspiring to do what they did or even better.
That's wonderful. So it's probably safe to say that you feel seen and valued when you're on campus.
100%.
Yeah. Any any kind of like example or a story where you actually noticed that and that was happening for yourself?
Yeah. We have a lot of like pep rallies and the Greek life at historically black colleges is definitely more prominent and I think it's held more closer to the historically black college culture.
Hmm.
So when I first got here, we had a pep rally. We had a few artists come and we had like a Greek night for like a volleyball game. Just seeing all the fraternities and sororities and all the music that was played, just seeing everyone my age, all the upperclassmen, everyone getting together, dancing. just being in an environment where I'm not the minority and everyone else is just coming together, where it's for the music, for the food, whatever it is, honestly. Like sometimes we have activities where we're all just coming together to talk about our favorite show or what's going on in the political state of the world, especially living in the capital. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to be talked about or to go over, but honestly, like I said previously, going to an historically black college, I think it's just a feeling like once you get here and you have that one moment that you're like, wow, like I know I'm gonna love this place. Like everyone asks me how's Howard, and my response is always like I can't see myself attending any other school. I can't see myself attending any other university. So
Yeah. Sounds like an excellent fit for you.
yes, more than yeah.
Like, I mean, you talk about your experience at Howard differing from your experience at McQuaid in terms of diversity. Um, what is the diversity like in terms of like background, maybe socioeconomics, regions? Like, is it a world campus? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, it is definitely a word campus. It's something that really opened my eyes when I first got here. Um, I would say being in Rochester, going to McQuaid, you see it's not really like I would say like the ethnic background is just like I'm a Black American or I'm an African American. When I once I got to Howard, it was I'm from Philadelphia by way of Ghana, or I'm from the UK by way of Ethiopia. Like it is such a huge diaspora of ethnic background. Like that's another part of the reason why it's way more diverse, and I think it's definitely more welcoming. I mean, we have some students that are national, people from the UK, people from Africa, people from all over the place. So I think that definitely makes the diversity part. Uh, I think it makes it stronger and it makes everyone feel welcome. Definitely at the end of the day.
Mhm. What are some traditions or cultural moments that, I mean, you mentioned the pep rally and stuff like that. Are there other kind of traditions that maybe you're looking forward to or that you've already experienced that really help you feel like you belonged? I don't know if like that sense of belonging could be stronger than what I'm getting from you right now, but I'm curious.
Yeah, I think just being able to represent your school, I feel like every college student has that. Like, say you go to Kansas, you go to a Kansas game, you go see Melvin Council drop 30 points. It's like, wow, like, I'm glad to be a Jayhawk. Like, I love the school. And I think being able to go to an HBCU. I mean, personally, I'm an equipment manager for the sports teams, specifically the football team. And when we go play Norfolk State and Michael Vick is the head coach, or we go play Delaware State and Deshaun Jackson's the head coach, I mean, my mind is blown. Like,
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be able to be on the same field as them, let alone help the players in their either win or loss against the team. But just being around the sports, I think the sports aspect is something that is like heavily supported at historically black colleges because you have the sports team, you have the cheerleaders, you have the band. Like the band is people come to Howard games, people come to historically black college games, and the band will be quiet for maybe 15, 20 minutes. As soon as the band comes up, people get scared. Like, what is that? And just seeing like the three different levels of how we came together to support our team and helping them win, it's just, I think it's just unmatched.
Awesome. What's a typical weekend look like for you?
Uh, well, since football's out of season, I would say, um, since it's winter, I actually love ice skating. Me and all my brothers grew up playing hockey and ice skating. So if I'm not ice skating, I'm spending time with my scholar mates. We'll do some homework, have a study group, spending time with other friends, going around exploring DC. One thing I do love about DC is the food. Since it's the capital, I mean, it's almost like a twin of New York City. There's just every type of food you want, and it's the best type of that food. So, I mean, living in DC, I can't ever say that there's nothing for me to do. Living here is there's being in the DMV itself, you always have something that you can do. And especially if it's on campus or off campus, I don't ever really find myself bored.
Yeah. Do most students stay on campus for the weekend, or are there a lot of regional commuters that kind of makes the campus empty out on the weekends?
Well, I would say normal weekends, most people stay home, but if we have like a Friday off of school, there's a good amount of kids that there's even kids from California that will fly back just for the 3 days, and then they'll fly back to campus. Uh, like I said, there's a lot of kids from all over the place, so some people are from Virginia and they stay here. Some people are from Virginia and they go home. So I mean, it all depends on their family and just how affordable it is to go home, I guess, or different, so just in economic backgrounds. But there's usually a good, like sometimes there's a long weekend and it's a ghost campus. Sometimes it's a long weekend and it's not. So I guess it honestly just varies on whether there's a holiday or if it's solely just a long weekend.
Gotcha. Um, I mean, it sounds like you did a really nice job, kind of like getting involved in your community. Was, were there any challenges involved with that, or like, was it really easy to find, your like small community, I guess, for lack of a better phrase? And how long did that take?
I mean, personally, I'm a social butterfly. I like to think like I'm a very social person. Like, I think all of the faculty can attest. Like, if you saw me in the cafeteria, I was one of the loudest people with my friends. Like, it's never really been hard for me to talk. I think that's one thing that really helped me in uh helping the Black Student Union. Like, I could go talk in front of however many kids that we invited, or go to a summit and Rock to Change, for example, and talk to all those people. I think the social aspect um, of just being able to make friends so easily and just be around people and like know things that you should say and things that you shouldn't say, just having social discipline. It
Hmm.
was pretty easy. I mean, I have my scholar mates, University of Maryland, Hunter's there. I've met his scholar mates. I joined the ice skating club. I'm an equipment manager, so I make friends with the athletes. I think the position that I'm in now, honestly, has set me up for the rest of the 4 years here, and I'm just excited to make even more friends, more connections down the line. But as of right now, my foundation now is very solid.
Yeah, it sounds like it. You mentioned the Greek life, the fraternities and sororities before. Um, are they like, are you, well, first of all, are you thinking that you might pledge a fraternity at some point?
Honestly, I'm not interested in any Greek life, but
Mhm.
I think like one big thing at historically black colleges is like the spring semester because fall semester it's a little warm, everyone comes in, you can see like the fraternities and sororities on the yard, which we have. Most HBCUs have a yard,
Mhm.
and you'll see the fraternities or sororities stepping or strolling or just just being on the yard. I mean, seeing the people that are in fraternities or in sororities, like for example, you have Omega Psi Phi, a Divine Nine fraternity, you have Shaq, you have Michael Jordan. There's so many, just like the alumni network of a historically black college, the fraternities and sororities kind of go into that too.
Mhm.
And spring semester comes, the sun's out, everyone's on the yard, everyone's stepping, everyone's playing music, everyone's having fun. I think Greek life is definitely a huge aspect in historically black colleges, but uh, as everything, it's not for everyone. It's for some people, but it's definitely it plays a big role in historically black college life for sure.
Yeah. Um, so let's switch gears again and talk a little bit about like, support for students and wellness. So what resources exist for, mental health, academic advising? You mentioned before that your professors are readily available, but like career support, mental health support, academic support, what does that look like?
I think for the career support and you said academic support.
And mental
For
health.
career support and academic support, I think there's just a lot of role models on campus. There's certain clubs you can join, like there's or academic clubs you can join to get help with your academics as well as tutor or help your other peers. Um, there's organizations you can join just to solely have a mentor to help you get through the college process, whether that be academics or your social life or financials even.
Hmm.
I think there's always an outlet here at Howard, somewhere you can go, whether it be a professor, organization, just a friend. I think there's always support here, and like I said, the alumni network is amazing. So having that to get you through is definitely amazing. I think the mental aspect, uh, a lot of the organizations and clubs hold like mental health. It'll be like a mental health weekend, or like Thursday we'll all have a talk about mental health, or even like Black mental health for women, Black mental health for men. Being a Black man in America, just there's a huge network, and I think if you are having trouble finding it, I think it will obviously won't be for long. I mean, there's a lot of resources here to help you in all those aspects.
Yeah. Have you ever struggled to seek out help?
I think that was definitely something I struggled with at McQuaid.
Okay.
Definitely like through middle school. I had a lot of pride. I wanted to be an independent person. And I sometimes I'd be in Miss Bucha's Spanish or Miss Martinez's Spanish, and I would need help with the Spanish. I would need a tutor, but I wouldn't ask for it simply because of the pride I was holding. I
Mhm.
thought that I would be able to achieve the grade I wanted to achieve. And I think it comes with just being like a young man. Like I think a lot of us have that pride and you don't really want to seek help because you think you can do it on your own. But it's they like the faculty at McQuaid always said like if you need help definitely during exams, midterms, finals, whatever it be. And I think like the academic center did a really good job of helping me.
Mhm.
And I haven't really found myself in a situation here yet at Howard where I've needed like help or support or anything. I think everything's flowing so smoothly. I mean, it's only freshman year, obviously, but
Mhm. Mhm.
definitely if I was to need something, I would have the ability to find and get help for it or have a resource.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, how do you know, like, how the school, how Howard in particular supports maybe first generation students or those from lower socioeconomic background?
Um, I think there is events held at the beginning of the school year, and there will be there will be events like held in an auditorium where it's like, okay, first gen, we'll have like a mixer or we'll have like just like a night, come get some snacks, like refreshments and things like that. There's a pinning ceremony. I missed it, but there's a pinning ceremony where like obviously you get into Howard, but at the ceremony you're supposed to get pinned by either your parents or like a former alumni, say you have no family or parents there. And that pretty much like stamps you as like a Howard Bison. And I think being like a first generation, obviously, I'm not a first generation, but um, just having that support, like I said, if it's an alumni or if it's a family member, I mean, I think the family and friends you make, I think the friends you make here honestly turn into family. A lot of the friends I've made here, I see them as family at least, but they definitely hold things for like first generation students. There's more resources for first generation students, and I think there may be more aid for first generation students as well. I'm not sure about that one, but
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Um, I mean, you talked about some opportunities you've taken advantage of. Do you see anything in your future for like more leadership or internships or yeah, even networking opportunities in your future?
Yeah, definitely. I actually have an internship lined up with the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Doing my Youth of the Year competition and getting to the regional level, I was able to actually meet the CEO, Jim Clark of Boys and Girls Clubs of America, and I have a internship lined up for my sophomore year. And I'm also looking to get an internship for forensic science. But I mean, the mentors that I have, there's always stuff they tell me, like there's always internships or connections or networking lined up. So I just continue to be supported by them and just look out for things that come my way. But I mean, a lot of the things that have come my way, I've taken advantage to get here, and I plan to keep doing so.
Yeah. And so with those connections and and opportunities, have you had the chance to like make any like alumni connections yet?
Yeah, one of my it's actually kind of closer to my family, but my godmother, her brother actually graduated from Howard, and there's something they have. There's like pageants
Mhm.
at historically black colleges, and there will be like Mr. Norfolk State, Miss Norfolk State, or like Mr. Howard and Miss Howard, and he was actually uh blessed enough to become Mr. Howard at some point when he went here, and the stories he told me, all just the insight on the school and how to navigate it, it honestly took a lot of pressure off my shoulders,
Mhm.
and it inspired me to run for one of the patents my sophomore, junior, senior year. So I think just having a role model, specifically a role model that is the same gender as you, I think it's one of the most important things in the world to navigate not only your social life, your academic life, but just life in general.
Yeah. 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 alumni men helping younger men is really important these days. I totally agree with that. Um, is there one thing that you wish you knew before choosing, an HBCU, specifically Howard?
Um, I would say since historically black colleges aren't typically funded by the government, there's a little bit of disparities you face.
Mhm.
Um, I feel like I wasn't really aware of most of those things, but um, I definitely see it in like a financial aspect. Like the financial aid sometimes is not the best for every student. And me being blessed enough to receive the Chick Evans scholarship, obviously it's a lifetime, like a lifetime. So like I can't. It's hard for me to put into words like how important it is, but being able to see from both sides of the coin, someone that doesn't really have to worry about the financial struggle of a historically black college, and then having friends that have this struggle, it definitely humbles me and grounds me and lets me know like you are really blessed, but like just stay humble, be thankful for everything that you have because there's some kids that I know that didn't even come back for this spring semester,
Yeah.
and it sucks, but I think if you do what you need to do academically and you apply to like outside scholarships and things like that, going to a historically black college is definitely something you should do.
Yeah. Now that you mentioned scholarships, are there other scholarships? I know you obviously you have the Chick Evans scholarship, but are you aware of scholarships that current students can apply for while they're at college?
There's definitely a lot. I think the Urban League is another organization that helped me a lot, get a lot of scholarships. Like I mentioned, the Greek life is really embedded in historically black colleges, and um, there's a lot of Greek life, Divine Nine, that works with the Urban League. So you could get a certain scholarship from Delta Sigma Theta, a sorority. You could get a certain scholarship from Omega Psi Phi, Kappa Alpha Psi. There's a lot of um, networking and scholarships. That's a lot of the thing that they really do besides service, community services, trying to give back to the youth, give them a chance to go to college. I actually received a scholarship from one of my mentors. He's a member of Omega Psi Phi, and they had a golf tournament, and I was grateful enough to play in the tournament as well as be one of the recipients. So I would definitely say with the Urban League. Um, or the Boys and Girls Club. I mean, I doing my youth of the year, I got a good amount of scholarship money.
Mhm.
And just looking up like a lot of historians, just people in Black history. I mean, Thurgood Marshall has a scholarship. There's so many scholarships you can apply to. And but I would say the easiest route is probably just start working with the Urban League, networking with the Urban League, and then after that, becoming a Black scholar. It's easy to get scholarships from them.
Good to know. What are some challenges or frustrations students should be aware of, at an HBCU?
I would definitely say like don't expect everything to be given to you. Like McQuaid was extremely rigorous, whether that was academically or athletically. I mean, personally, I think McQuaid sharpens you and it just pushes you to be the best version of yourself. Like you say, whether it's in the classroom or outside of the classroom. McQuaid holds his academics at a high standard and it holds his athletics at a high standard. And I think that prepared me for Howard because Howard is this is one of the most like competitive environments I've ever been in. Like everybody wants to be the best, whether it's down to the clubs, the organizations, the pageants, Greek life, your major, um, the best braider on campus, the best barber on campus. It genuinely boils down to every little aspect. And I think if you're not a competitive person, going to an HBCU will definitely hit you where it hurts. But I
Mhm.
think if you have the ability to overcome and strive and just like I said, have tunnel vision and push yourself to where you want to be, as well as having the help that you need. I think you can strive for greatness at any historically black college.
Yeah. Who might not thrive there?
Um,
What kind of people, I guess, is a better way to say it.
I would say like if you have problems with like confidence or problems like socially or you're just not a competitive person, I really don't think like especially Howard, the competitive you need to be competitive to go to this school.
Hmm.
Like like I had mentioned, it really does boil down to everything. Like as annoying as it might be sometimes, like you might not want it to be a competition, but unfortunately, that's just how it is. Like
Mhm.
everyone comes from different parts of the world, but we all might do the same thing. And then it's like, okay, I'm better at this. No, no, I'm better at this. This is how we do it in California. This is how we do it in Boston. And I think being and also being social, I think if you don't have the social aspect, not everyone's gonna want to talk to you. Like there's instances, there's people from Brooklyn, from Manhattan, they don't want to talk to me because I'm from Rochester. And I mean, we're all from New York, but it's different. Some people have different preferences.
Sure.
I think being able to find your community, if being able to find a good group of people for you and being able to stay competitive, I think those are the two main things you need going to any historically black college, specifically Howard.
Yeah. Um, if you could choose again, would you still attend?
If I could choose again, I would choose Howard. Yeah.
Yeah, that
I
was a
mean,
softball.
it was like I'm definitely blessed to have the Chick Evans scholarship and be able to choose from 28, 29 schools. But after um that alum came back to McQuaid and talked to me about Howard, I knew it was where I was going to go. And then seeing it on the Chick Evans list, it was like it wasn't a question. So
Yeah, yeah. What is there anything that you would do differently?
um you're saying in like going to Howard?
Yeah.
I don't think so, honestly. I think my last semester I had 8 a.m., 9 a.m., and I think this semester I have an 8 a.m. every day. So personally, I like to keep it catered towards like waking up at like 7:30 and McQuaid starts at 8:15. Just staying in the routine, just keeping my body in that mindset and ability I've always been a morning person. So
Mhm.
that's definitely something you should look forward to scheduling your classes around what type of person you are because if you're not a morning person and you have an 8 a.m., you're not going to wake up.
Mm.
It's something I had to learn, honestly. I had to force myself to get up sometimes, but yeah,
Yeah, they call that the $100 nap if you miss a
yeah,
class.
I've
I
had a
just have
few of those
a
before.
couple more questions for you. How do you think that attending Howard changed you in your first year?
Um, I think it changed me for more of like I wouldn't say competitive. Like I said, I was already competitive before I got here, but just seeing things with more of an open mind. I think there's a lot of things that I learned here that have made me just think about like my everyday life differently. Like being at college in itself, you have to be more independent. You have to do your own laundry. You have to make sure you're waking up on time. Sometimes you have to cook for yourself. Sometimes you have to go get groceries.
Mhm.
Um, I think just being more independent is something I've really learned, honestly. And then being dependent in such a big city is something else too.
Mhm.
Um, like having to take the train to go to Maryland, like by myself sometimes, it's like wow, like I'm not in Rochester anymore. Like this is a big city. There's a lot of people here. So and I also think you have to look out for yourself more.
Mhm.
I came here more of a person that tends to put everyone else's life vest on before I do myself. And that's sometimes a good habit to have, but there's instances where it gets to a point where you stop taking care of yourself. And at the end of the day, the person that needs the most caring and caring to is yourself. So
Yeah.
not forgetting to take care of yourself and being independent is something you it's imperative to go in here.
Well, it sounds like you gained wisdom in that first year for sure,
Yeah,
man.
definitely. Definitely.
So my last question for you, like, what advice would you give an incoming Black student deciding between an HBCU and a predominantly white institution?
One thing I would say is the biggest part is the financial aspect. I would say if you can afford to attend a historically black college, 10 times out of 10, uh, like 100% go. I mean, I personally believe that historically going to a historically black college, that experience is just you can't top it. Like the experiences I've had from only being here for only one semester has, as I keep saying to you, I wouldn't do it any other way. So there's a financial aspect, and I think just if you feel like the environment that you're in isn't like for high school, if it's not what you think you need, if you think you need to be more the majority, if you think you need to embrace more of who you are and find yourself really who you are at a historically black college, that's definitely something you should do. I mean, there's so many ways you can find yourself here, not only just being the ethnic background or the being a black young man, black young woman in America. It's just everything that you learn here from academics to Greek life to orgs to clubs to sports. I mean, there's just so much in the foundation of making an HBCU and then going to one. So, but most importantly, the financial aspect. But if anyone was to ask me to go to HBCU, specifically Howard, I would tell them yes every single time.
Awesome.
Yes.
What else do you want to tell our students and families who are going to be watching this video?
I would say thank you to all of you for um even considering going to a historically black college. I encourage it heavily, and just make sure sophomore, junior, senior year, your academics are perfect. Okay, make sure they're perfect so that you can get as much scholarship money as you can from these historically black colleges. And definitely tour your schools. I mean, personally, I didn't go on any college tours, but make sure you tour the colleges. And make sure it's just like the right place for you. I know every historically, like not every historically black college is the same. Like it might have the same name, but it might not be the right environment for you. Like DC, it's super cold right now. Somebody might not like that. They might want to go to like Florida A&M University to where it's hotter, but just really I would say sit down, talk with your parents, um, weigh out the goods and the bads of going to a PWI, weigh out the goods and bads of going to a Shockley Back College. And yeah, I mean, look at the alumni network, look at the support the school gets and everything. And I would say start to imagine yourself going to this school. I mean, look up videos. Social media is probably at its highest right now. You can find anything about the school you like, but really try and envision yourself at the school, go on a tour and see if it speaks to you. I mean, like I said, I didn't visit Howard, but as soon as it spoke to me as soon as I got here. So, and I'm thankful for that, but definitely keep them on your radar. If it wasn't for that alumni coming back to speak to me personally, I probably wouldn't even, I'd probably be at Maryland with Hunter. I don't know if I would be at Howard. So,
Wow.
um, yeah. So thank you, Mr. Griffith. Thank everyone that set this up. I'm just glad I'm able to pass down what was passed down to me and having someone educate me on historically black colleges and just giving me insight to a whole other realm of education that I honestly didn't know existed.
Yeah. Well, I am very grateful for you, Mr. Finley, for sharing your experiences and knowledge and wisdom now with our students and families. I think everybody that's watching this will definitely take away something that they can use as they move forward with their college search and hopefully geared towards attending an HBCU. So thank you very much. And with
Thank
that,
you.
this will conclude our College Information Week 2026.
Thank you. I appreciate being able to be a part of it.
Absolutely.